Hi there, welcome to Homekeepers. How are you today, my friend? Come right on in and join us. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful program, and I want you to know how welcome you are. And thank you so much for all of the feedback you give us and all the encouragement. It means a great deal. Now, if you saw the program yesterday, my guest was David Kline, who is paraplegic because of a diving accident when he was a teenager. I think the crew would probably agree with me that he's one of the most impressive guests that's ever been in this studio. And I felt at the end of the program that he had a whole lot more we wanted to know about. And I asked him to stay, so I'm going to show you that second interview today. And I watched it earlier today, and I felt that it was riveting when you get inside the necessities and the mind of somebody who is totally, completely, absolutely dependent on other people to stay alive. It was very, very thought-provoking and very, very educational, I think. So David is the one who wrote Walk by Faith. He was permanently injured as a teenager in a diving accident, and told us all about that, but got into a little more detail what we're going to show you today. So I'm glad that he was able to stay over a little longer. I'm going to join Stephanie for a best ever potato salad, and I know you could probably make potato salad a million different ways. So this is one way, and it's got, I think the thing that looked interesting in this was the dressing that they put together for it. So you'll watch us do that, and you can kind of decide if you might like it or not. All of our recipes are free, and I would again like to ask you to support this program, a program that really tries to reach out and make the American home a whole lot better than it is. A lot of homes are in trouble, and we want to get the message out that God's way to steer your home, lead your home, is the best way, have the best results. So if you would give to us, boy, we'd appreciate it. You can do it a couple ways. You can write to us at Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, or use the 800 number, 1-800-229-0059. And boy, we will really appreciate it. I was going over some figures before I came downstairs, and anything you could give would be a wonderful blessing. So let me thank you in advance. And we got quite a few little ingredients here to put together.
We are doing some Southern cooking today, my friends, because we made bacon, and now we're using the bacon grease, and I'm going to make a dressing. You're going to cut up some eggs. We have some already boiled potatoes. So I have bacon drippings. Okay. Hello, Southern.
Well, maybe you have heard putting a little bacon drippings in the dressing. Have you ever done that before?
I put bacon drippings in a lot of stuff, let me tell you. My husband grew up, well, his grandfather grew up on a farm where his grandmother made bacon and eggs and everything, and the eggs got cooked in the bacon grease every single morning. So that was 3/4 cups of mayo. This is a tablespoon of Dijon mustard.
I have a lot of memories of being on my uncle's farm in the summertime. And I think every child should have a farm experience.
Oh, for sure. This is a teaspoon of salt. Yeah, we would go visit my aunt and uncle in Morocco, Indiana, and they had horses and pigs. And I never wanted to leave.
Yes.
That was salt. That was a teaspoon of salt.
We had great big lilac bushes in Colorado, and I laid on my tummy one day, watched little chickens.
Yeah, I remember going to go home, and I remember my mom, I was crying, and my mom was like, "You never want to leave here." And I'm like, "I don't want to go."
That's exactly right. I think I mentioned this before, because my dad was a pastor, and I thought, why would you want to do that if you could have been a farmer?
Right.
I really thought of that as a kid.
They had so much property, and you could just go run and have fun and ride little motorbikes. And
shall I start putting this stuff in?
Please. We have onions.
Yeah.
We have celery. We have bacon, and we have eggs.
Okay, I'm just putting part of this onion in.
Okay.
And
I'm just
in honor of my friend Stephanie, we are not putting the green pepper in.
Oh, you can if you want.
No, those who like it can add it, but that's the way we are here. We really consider each other. We got some celery.
This is a nice warm dressing. Look at this.
It smells awesome. Because it doesn't really smell just like bacon.
So good.
What does it smell like?
It smells like heaven in a bowl.
and all this bacon. And I just
And
put all the eggs in.
Yep.
All right.
I don't know what I'm being told here. Okay.
Okay,
I'm going to put the dressing on.
Yeah, just a second. Let me move this around just a little bit. Oh, I wish I could describe how that dressing smells.
It's that Dijon.
There it is. Yeah.
Yep.
It's got Dijon mustard in it.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do this. We're going to mix it up really good. I mean, super simple. And I'll tell you, somebody had, you know, they thought something of themselves if they're calling it the best potato salad ever. Ever. Do you want me to do that?
Yes, and we just had a dish called wild wedges.
Also known as quesadillas.
So if you come up with a recipe, and we're always running into recipes that just people like us made in their home.
Yes.
Try to think of a real exotic name for it.
Yeah, well, we made that cake one time, and it wasn't my recipe, but it was the best thing I ever ate, so we started calling it Stephanie's cake.
You know, I think we probably got more requests for that cake than anything we've ever done.
That's because the angels sang when we made it, I'm telling you. It was, I heard the angels sing. It was the best. I've made it since then, and it was the best thing.
This whole idea, you could add the ingredients you want.
Look at that yumminess.
I want to.
So good, right?
That dressing, we ought to charge $100 for that dressing.
$100. If you all in the crew want some, it's $100.
Shouldn't we?
That is so good. Oh, man.
It's got just a little bit of bacon drippings in it.
That is some southern tasting potato salad because of that bacon. And
I think if you took this to your church picnic or your church dinner,
you would be the favorite.
Yeah, you would be very famous. Very famous that night.
Then everyone would invite you to their picnic.
Yes. So, if you want the recipe, it really is good. I kid you not. And you could add things, you know, that are your favorites as well. Information's coming up on your screen. We'll be glad to get it right out to you. And it certainly is a good summertime dish. And after that, you'll see the interview that I did with David Kline, and I think you'll be riveted to it. I was very, very moved when I watched it myself. Stay with us.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
Well, as I mentioned at the top of the program, that David's story is just way too big for one program, so he's agreed to stay around, and I am so glad that he agreed to do that, because maybe today we can get into a little bit more detail on this very, very big story. So thank you for staying around.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. We kind of just, on the last program, we just kind of skimmed the top. I want to get into some of the detail of the story, which you'll find in Walk by Faith, and we'll have that website up shortly. You can get it through that. You dealt with caregivers, and you have a caregiver here, Haley, that very pleasant young lady. She's been with you
nearly 14 years.
Yes, that's got to be a blessing. You might be like brother and sister, and maybe argue once in a while. Is that out on a limb?
we have playful banter.
But before Haley, I read Nightmare City in here. You had a succession. Some of them were druggies, substance abuse, and some of them stole money from you. And how do you deal with that? You can't fight anybody.
Right. Yes, I have caregivers now, and I did from the very beginning. And
you have to. You wouldn't survive. Yeah.
Right. They do all my personal care. If you think about all the things you do for yourself in a day, I need help with those things. It's very personal, but it's stuff that needs to be done. Just getting in and out of bed, bathing, dressing, bathroom care. So I rely on them 100%. And early on after my accident, and probably for the first 10, 20 years, I relied just on one caregiver. Currently I have 5 right now throughout the week, but early on I would have one caregiver, so I would need that person to be reliable. And it was a live-in position, so they were in my house or apartment. And as you mentioned, I had some who turned out to be substance abuse users.
Thieves?
Yeah, and if you could imagine trying to rely on someone who's passed out or acting really crazy unstable on drugs. And as you mentioned, that happened a few in a row where I'd have to fire them after a month and then not quite know who's going to take care of me next.
You're at their total mercy.
Yeah.
Has that ever been in your thoughts? Was there fear involved?
It was scary. I had one caregiver, and he had actually been working for me for over a year. He was kind of part of our family. And one day I noticed that my bank account was low. And so he was the only one with access to my checking account. But I didn't want to fire him on the spot. I got proof, and I didn't want to fire him on the spot because what if he got mad? What if he left? Mm-hmm. Who would help me? And so behind the scenes, I had to get a hold of a former caregiver and have that person come help me on the day that this current caregiver actually got arrested. The police arrested him when he was at college, and fortunately my other caregiver helped me. But it's tough. You know, being quadriplegic, not being able to move is hard enough, but I
Yes.
think the caregiver issues have been maybe sometimes even a greater challenge.
You have to have trust.
Yeah.
Have to. How long does it take to get ready for the day from the moment you wake?
It takes at least 2 hours. There's a lot involved. That's every day. And so the caregiver will be trained, and that takes a while. And as I mentioned, all my care just takes a lot of my day, a lot of diligence. We just get in a routine and do the same step every morning.
Because your body has to constantly be watched for what they call pressure sores, and it can be very, very serious.
Right. Yeah, we're constantly checking my skin and keeping my lungs healthy. I've had pneumonia and bronchitis. There's a lot of things. So I'm constantly vigilant about my health.
I'd like to go way back on the last program we discussed. You were raised in a Christian home. Do you remember a moment when you were a young boy, perhaps, that you really believed Jesus was real and that that's the way you wanted to go? Because your book proves none of us are perfect. I'm sure you're not either, but you really made great choices all the way through school as a young man.
I tried to. I became a Christian when I was 4 or 5. I don't remember the event, but I know it happened. And when I was 13, I remember I was in my front yard and I thought, well, just in case I didn't really when I was 4 or 5, I'll do it now. And so right there in my front yard, I prayed just to make sure. But I've always gone to church.
Little issue with eternal security right there.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
That is amazing. So you know that was God who impressed you. It seems to me that spiritually he prepared you along the way, and sometimes you only see that in hindsight.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine going through something like this without having that grounding and that faith in God. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Now, one of your first thoughts when you knew something was wrong and you were under the water, you said, well, God's going to heal me. Mm-hmm. What kind of a resolution have you come to on that?
About the first year after my accident, I really thought it really could happen. And part of that is because while I was in the hospital, our family got a hold of a book called The Miracle Man. A friend of Zig Ziglar, the motivational speaker, was a guy who had been paralyzed. And about 5-6 months later, he was back walking again. So I thought, wow, it worked for him. Maybe that'll happen to me. I even thought I was conservative. I thought, well, I'll give myself 7 or 9 months maybe. And I even thought, boy, maybe at graduation of high school, maybe I'll be walking. Wouldn't that be great and surprise everyone? And then kind of as time went on, I was kind of realizing, okay, maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe that just was a rare thing for this particular man in that book I read. And I became kind of more accepting of the reality.
Well, I think you and I would agree God could do it.
Oh, he could. I believe anytime he wanted.
He's not restricted.
Right.
But the older I get, and looking back on the influences in my own life, that word eternity comes up a lot. Mm-hmm. One of the preachers that really influenced my life spoke on living your Christian life now in the light of eternity. And as I look at you, your life is something that is eternal in its impact now. Your book, your life, your speaking makes people think. If you weren't in that wheelchair, that wouldn't happen.
I think you're right on. And in the first segment, I mentioned Romans 8:28, when it says all things work together for good. And some people think of that word good and they think, oh, good, that means I'm going to win the lottery. but I think it's more of an eternal perspective, the way God sees good, in that maybe someone through my testimony might be encouraged in their own life, or maybe have hope, or maybe even become a Christian. So I try to think in the, as you mentioned, the eternal perspective, and it might not be great for me right now, but I know God's working on something, and maybe I'll find out what that is next week, next year, or maybe in heaven someday I'll find out.
In heaven, for sure, for sure. Looking back, well, it's been decades now since the accident. When I read your book, and I've said this so many times, I didn't find any depression or down or what. When you look back over your life, could you tell me the lowest point? I was angry when your parents back then. You have a fine relationship with your parents, right? That's not a problem. But I didn't pick up any depression, which most the conventional wisdom would say you would have to have that.
Yeah, there are certainly tough times, and have been, thinking about the things I can't do when everyone else is off going and doing those things. And I try not to dwell on them. I try not to have a little pity party. And I keep busy and try to keep focused on what God wants to do in me. But I never had those real deep down depressing moments, and I just credit God. I've always thought he must have given me extra faith.
He did.
It's really, how could I do it? And people have asked me if I've ever thought about ending it all. And they've told me, they've said I couldn't do it. And there was one time when I was at my mom's house, and she had a steep staircase down to the lower floor, and I was up at the top of it, and I thought, boy, I could just kind of roll right off and end it. Not that I would, but just the thought crossed my mind. And then I kind of cracked myself up, because I thought I'd probably just end at the bottom with a broken neck again. And so I thought, well, that wouldn't be very smart. So that was really the extent of any thought about not being here anymore.
Are you teaching now, or
I retired about 3 years ago from teaching.
What about a social life?
Social life, I especially when I was teaching, I had no social life, always grading papers. I don't get out as much as I would like. That's why this trip has been so much fun to be here. But I do go to church every week and see my church family.
How do you see your future? You're retired, right?
Retired from teaching. I run a business from home right now, thanks to the internet and all the technology that's out there. And now that I've written and published my book, I go on interviews and speaking. But I'm not sure what God wants to do with me for the rest of my years here.
Yes, and I probably haven't reminded the audience for a little bit, but he wrote the book, Walk by Faith. The information's on the screen as to how you can get it. And also, through the website, they could contact you.
Yes.
I think he would be a a great inspiration to your young people, and especially some of those athletes in your church and so forth, because that's what you were. Was that the thing, the hardest to overcome, that you didn't have an active
That was difficult.
sport anymore?
Yes, I was always on the go as a teenager, from a job to friends to playing a sport, and my future just looked so wide open and positive, and I really thought sports were the place I would be for a long time, especially soccer. So that was challenging, and so when the opportunity to coach came up, that was neat for me, mentally and emotionally, to be at least out on the field and participating in the game I love so much.
Okay, you were a good kid. You were Christian all the way through this. As you look back now, what is the greatest difference? What's the most you've really learned about God in this whole journey?
I would think, and I've thought of this just the other day, that just trusting and knowing that God's in control. I've always known He's in control, but it's really sinking in lately just to trust Him. I saw a great meme the other day on Facebook. You know the story of Zacchaeus. I think he was the short guy who wanted to see Jesus but was too short, so he climbed that tree. So the meme I saw, and I know I'm not going to get the exact wording right, but it was something like, years before Zacchaeus even needed that tree, God had planted that tree.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
God knew Zacchaeus' need at least 10, 20 years in advance and put that tree there. And so that makes me think that there's stuff God set the wheels in motion 10 years ago that might show up in my life, tomorrow. We don't know what blessings are around the corner that God has for us, but we know that He's in control. And as tough as it might seem today, it might be better tomorrow. It might not, but maybe God's going to be using that in some way for His glory and His purpose.
So you're sitting there with total peace?
I wouldn't say total, but I'm doing my best, and I pray to God for peace and strength every day.
What kind of feedback, we've just got a couple of minutes, what kind of feedback have you got from your testimony or from the book?
I love hearing from people who have read the book, that they're encouraged. It's a book not just for someone with disability, just for people who are going through struggles and trials, and I think that's everybody who needs a little bit of hope.
I would call you an absolute trophy of God's grace, and He does extend it in these, and it's on display when it's something like this, when it's something so serious.
And I think God will give us what we need if we ask Him for the faith that we need and the strength and the wisdom. So I would encourage people just to ask and trust.
Yes, and I can't really, encourage you enough to get the book. I was very surprised when I got into it, and the whole book is different than what I expected. You waited quite a while to write a book.
I did, because I taught English for 17 years, and all I did was school grading. Grading papers is so time consuming. So I didn't have time to write for so many years. So when I retired a few years ago, that's when I finally had the time to type the book, one key at a time, and then get it edited and published. So I'm really glad to have that out for people to read now.
Well, thank you for the sunshine and the inspiration that you bring, and I want you to know you're welcome, Homekeepers, anytime you're back in Florida.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Yeah. Stay with me. I have a couple of things to say before we have to say goodbye.
Arthelene would like you to keep the following information handy. You may contact Homekeepers by writing to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, or go to www.rippy.org. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from our viewers, and we thank you for your support.
Okay, let me again remind you that we're asking you to send a donation to Homekeepers on this program. Information's on your screen if you'd like to write to us. There's an address there, and also there's an 800 number if you like to give online. We so need your help and so appreciate it. Whether it's large or small, I kind of look at the heart of our viewers, and I find a lot of good things there. And we appreciate every kind word you send, every sweet note. Some of you send nice cards. We thank you so much, and thank you so much also for any financial help that you can give. Well, I don't know about you, but I found that interview to be quite riveting, actually. The Bible tells us that it's within your weakness, and this is Jesus talking, in your weakness that my strength is made perfect. I think I once heard Chuck Swindoll say it this way, and I thought of my own son who's had a kidney transplant and a lot of health problems, but a lot like my guest, keeps going. He keeps going. He's been a pastor in Alabama for more than 20 years. But I often thought of him that it's within your weakness that you become an illustration of my strength. And boy, didn't we see one just a while ago and yesterday, on the program yesterday, that illustration where His grace is just on display through that life. I have a feeling that if you saw the program yesterday and also the one today, that you've been greatly impacted as we were. Everybody here in the studio greatly impacted. You know, you can't fake that look on someone's face, that countenance. And he had a countenance there that absolutely just amazed me. There was a joy there, there was a strength there. And it also said, Arthelene, you should never, ever, ever, ever complain about anything again as long as you live. And that might be a message for every single one of us. So I thank God for bringing him here from California. I think he had a really good time in Florida, and so happy that he could come and we could meet him. And I really do believe that God has a ministry for him. Don't forget his book, Walk by Faith. And also, please join me next time, remembering there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. None.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.